I want to talk about something. Hey guys. So I never played Rift, and I heard really good things about it as a MMO. And I'm going to close that window. And it's old. It's been a while. I was playing other games at the time. I don't know if I was playing WoW or Wildstar or Shadowbane or, oh God, maybe Warhammer Online. I can't remember the time frame. So apparently a lot of MMOs, or City of Heroes, that was another great game that I played. But apparently players are coming back to Rift. Let's check this out from Grind and Loot and see what's going on.
When I made my last...
Oh, let me actually start from the beginning because I watched the first 30 seconds
Rift?
of this. Okay. Here we go. You know, I should be putting this up here. Oh, if I do that, and it's mostly hidden behind the camera when I react from now on. I only have one monitor, so I got to work around that. Let's close this and get her going. See what he has to say.
Rift just doubled its active player count since October.
That's
And
what I
no,
heard.
that's not clickbait. Rift is having the highest player count since 2021, and it's still going for more. And the best part?
I thought Rift was the one where you, even though it's click to or point and click, is that really? That's not the term. Tab targeting. That's the term I was looking for. I thought Rift was the one where it looked like, maybe I'm thinking of Blade and Soul, where you could grab characters and throw them. So I have a bit of a cold.
The game has one of the fairest free-to-play models I tried so far, which makes it accessible for everyone. So let's find out why Rift is so strong at the moment, and why you should join the Fresh Start project on Deepwood. When I made my last video 2 weeks ago, Steam already showed a 50% player increase over 30 days.
But 200 players. That's so the games that I have in mind for the next MMO, the new one is Where Winds Meet. I'm probably going to give it a shot as a single player, especially after watching. I'll post it soon, but I did a reaction to, oh my God, Legendary drops video on Where Winds Meet. Also, one of the best channels you can do when you want to follow the gaming industry in general. So Where Winds Meet, the old City of Heroes Homecoming private server is really good. I played it for a while, but I got burnt out because the end game is really, really, really easy because they've buffed a lot of the mid game stuff and it's really fast, but still a lot of fun making characters. Maybe I'll show off some. This, but that'll be dependent on some more reviews. And then finally, the Dungeons and Dragons Online free-to-play game is apparently really good, and I'm a big D&D fan, so.
Now, according to Steam charts, the average player count has doubled compared to October 2025. That's just on Steam. Level 50 raids opened this Friday, and we are excited to dive into them with this active environment. Even if you are new to Rift, you can enjoy challenging raid content. Our veterans are very happy to help and guide you. Many players who never tried Rift don't realize how deep the class system is.
Holy crap. Okay, Cleric, Mage, Rogue, Warrior, Assassin, Bard, Blade Dancer, Infiltrators. They have like PvP only class. Templar, Infiltrator, Archmage, Vindicator. I wonder how good PvP... Well, PvP really requires people though, so that might not be something to look at. Marksman, Nightblade. I love Assassin classes. Riftstalker, Saboteur. This is appealing. This is very appealing to see this many warriors. Not my style. Mage is secondary for me, and some, I don't know. There's this. Wow, that's so many classes. That gets me excited. Shadowbane was my favorite MMO of all time, and it had so many classes and subclasses and so much customization. And it was all about PvP, which is just the bomb. Ugly, ugly ass game. Click to move. Very buggy. But just like you sweating in your chair when you PvP. All right, more about Rift.
There are over 40 souls across all classes, and you can tweak any of them as you like. This means on a single character, you can play tank, DPS or healer. Whatever the group needs, you can do it. And you can easily change the spec within seconds.
Okay.
And even if you're not into raiding, we keep Telara alive with tons of activities like dungeons, PvP, hide and seek, dimension building, and various open world events. Basically, currently we do that kind of stuff you only get when the community has real numbers again. And Rift has not seen this in years. And for the casuals among you, Rift really respects your time. Level scaling, instant adventures, and flexible dungeon access lets you play exactly what you enjoy.
The only thing I like level scaling, was one of my favorite things about City of Heroes is that you can level scale with each other. So when you're doing missions, you can have a higher level person turn you into his sidekick. When you do that, you become one level below him in efficiency of all of your abilities. You don't get new abilities, but all your abilities level up, even your health and everything. It was very, very easy to play decent content at any level. And you can do the other way around too. You can have a high level person. It's not called sidekick. It's called mentoring, I think. Maybe the term is different, but you can have them brought down to just one level above you and they can do stuff with you. And the thing is that the XP and the gains, the rewards, the drops and everything are still useful for you in either of those scenarios. It was my first time seeing that, and I think it should be used in any MMO. It's really, really good.
Without much downtime. And if you prefer the classic way, you can still go out there, go questing, and ignore the LFG tool stuff. As a side note for fans of in-game events like Christmas, Halloween, etc., Gamigo has even started reactivating old events for the first time in years. A good sign they are taking this revival seriously, as it seems.
How are they making
and as I
money
mentioned in my
keeping
previous
alive?
video,
Is Gamigo the original backers of Rift, or is it a private server?
also confirmed the experience log feature.
I want to know how many races there are, and I want to know if the class can pick like specific talents, if you can really customize each one of those classes. Because when you're playing, what are we at? We're at 2 minutes. When you're playing all these classes, the one thing I don't like about, like, let's say games like WoW, it doesn't matter what your Chloromancer is. Like, you meet another Chloromancer, you know their build is the same as everybody's for PvE, and then the same as everybody's for PvP. Like, there's just one build for each, and I can't stand that. There's just like, there's something really fun about trying to create something interesting. Like when I played Shadowbane, they had you could add 3 subclasses to every character. You had a class and a subclass, but you could have 3. They called them rune stones, and the rune stones would be unrelated, but it would be a list of like other kind of like subclasses. Some are restricted based on race and class, and they were dropped by epic monsters that spawned like every 6 hours or something like that. So you'd fight over them. Originally, you could even steal them if you were a thief directly out of the monster without killing them, and then someone else would kill it and it'd be empty and they'd get really pissed off. What I liked about that game is like you had a set of stats, a pool of stats, and you could allocate them any way you wanted. You had a set of skill points that were affected by your intelligence score, and you could allocate them any way you want. And at certain percentages of skills, you would unlock powers and abilities. So if you had short sword at 90, you would unlock that 90 ability, and it could be a stun or whatever, a debuff or a big attack. And you could pick different weapons and just really choose all the powers and buttons that are on your screen. And that made for the ability to make something all your own. And then you had those 3 subclasses. Like some of them completely changed the character. Like Were Rat would turn you into either a giant rat to run really fast or a halfway rat. Some of them would give you like a stun. Someone would give you stun immunity. Some of them would give you track, so you could track other stealthers that are like around on the. I like how I did that. That was the animation. Anyway, I could rant and rave about Shadowbane forever, but what I liked about it the most was the customization.
Really nice for
and let's just bring this to the fore now. When people say customization for MMOs, they think of like making your character look good with a big nose and big boobs and big butt or whatever. That's not what I mean in customization. Like, yeah, it's nice if you have an interesting look, but when you're scrolled all the way out and you're PvPing with the biggest field of view as possible, no one else is zoomed in to see how good you look. It's nice to look good and have cool looking gear, but that is nowhere near as important as making a creation that's all your own. If you're the first person to make something that later on becomes meta and then people have to use their brains to try to defeat it, there's nothing better than that feeling in a PvP MMO.
Era players. And to be fair, I want to highlight one aspect. Even if you may not like Gamigo, Rift's free-to-play model is one of the fairest in the genre. No pay-to-win, no predatory systems. You can experience almost the entire game
like a rogue
with only a few class specs locked, without spending a cent. The majority of the item shop stuff is convenience and cosmetics. So, with dungeon queues popping, raids active, and a community that keeps growing, this revival has turned into an insanely fun project. If you are still waiting for a sign, this is it. Join us on Discord and jump into Rift. Whether with a new character or your old main, a real MMO comeback is happening. Not promised, not teased, it is really happening.
Nice.
If you missed that old school MMO feeling, this is your moment. And we're just getting started.
How Rift failed and why players are returning. Let's take a look at, does he have any links here? I'll probably post them, but his Discord, you can click on it right here. This is Grind and Loot. I explore classic and underrated MMOs. Neverwinter, I played that for a while, way back in the day. Cool. Yeah, I don't know if he gave me enough information to sell me on it, but I think I would give the game an hour or two to get a feel of it. And I'll do the same thing for DD online, and maybe more than an hour or two for Where Winds Meet, just because it's modern and it has modern combat. I hope we're there soon, guys. I really do. Yeah. Let's get into some MMOs, man. We need some new ones. And I can't wait 20 years in between each one to get created. It's just awful. All right. Tell me what you think. You got another MMO that I don't have my radar on that fits any of the stuff that I mentioned about customization, especially if there's some open world PvP. I know City of Heroes, I spent a long time on it, and it sounds counter to everything I say that I like in MMOs. My dog is making a big sigh. You okay, buddy? But long story short, City of Heroes was different because it just really leaned into the customization aspect of it. Like you could make anything with your customization of powers and looks. And the roleplay on that server was pretty neat. Homecoming, by the way. I sigh because I just spent a ton of money on a new PC last year, and I would like to dive into a new MMO that looks great, that has all the things that I want from an old school MMO. I just don't think anyone wants to take a chance on making something like that these days. I don't think. Well, got to keep exploring, got to dig deep, got to find them. Let's figure out if Rift is worth it. Later, guys.